History is written in stone, clay, and symbols left behind by those who came before us. Some artifacts fit neatly into what we know, confirming our understanding of the past. But then there are those that defy explanation, enigmatic relics whose origins, purpose, or meaning remain elusive, despite decades, even centuries of study. Were they messages from lost civilizations, sacred tools of forgotten rituals, or evidence of knowledge far beyond what we assumed possible? Scattered across the world, these 7 artifacts stand as silent riddles, challenging the limits of history itself. Some bear symbols no one has deciphered, others hint at technological understanding far ahead of their time, and a few seem to whisper of beliefs, traditions, and realities that we may never fully grasp. Each one tells a story, but whether that story is myth, mystery, or an overlooked truth remains an open question. Let's uncover the secrets of these artifacts and the puzzles they continue to pose. In the rugged canyons of Texas, etched onto a rock face overlooking the Pecos River, lies one of the most enigmatic paintings of the ancient world, the White Shaman mural. Spanning over 25 feet, this haunting artwork is more than a mere relic of prehistoric expression. Estimated to be over 4,000 years old, it features a spectral humanoid figure surrounded by swirling symbols, zigzags, and interconnected lines. Some patterns resemble celestial formations, while others hint at ritualistic movements. But what was its true purpose? A sacred vision, a cosmic map, or something far stranger? Archaeologists attribute the mural to the hunter-gatherers of the lower Pecos region, a people known for their intricate rock art. Some scholars believe the White Shaman represents a ritual specialist, a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms, documenting a shaman's journey into the unknown. The zigzags, they argue, symbolize the trance-like state induced by hallucinogenic plants, particularly peyote, which was central to indigenous spiritual practices. Others, however, see in the artwork something more structured, perhaps an early attempt at recording mythological or astronomical knowledge. The placement of the mural itself adds to the intrigue. Some researchers speculate that its location, near the confluence of rivers, may hold symbolic meaning. Rivers were often seen as pathways to the afterlife or divine realms in ancient cultures. Additionally, the mural bears striking similarities to other rock art across the Americas, suggesting a shared mythological framework that may have transcended individual cultures. Could it be part of a much older storytelling tradition, preserved across generations? Yet, one of the most controversial interpretations pushes beyond conventional archaeology. Some theorists point to the humanoid figure's elongated limbs, radiant lines, and seemingly celestial surroundings, suggesting it might depict an ancient encounter with an unknown presence. Was this mural an early record of something beyond human experience, an attempt to communicate a long-forgotten truth? Despite decades of research, no single interpretation has prevailed. The White Shaman mural remains an open book, one that whispers of visions, rituals, and knowledge that may never be fully understood. But perhaps that is its greatest power. Some mysteries are meant to endure, forever challenging us to look beyond the limits of our own understanding. Scattered beneath the soil of Sierra Leone and Liberia, the Nomoli figurines emerge from the earth like remnants of a forgotten past. These small yet striking stone carvings depict humanoid figures with exaggerated features, oversized heads, deep-set eyes, and muscular bodies. Some appear regal, adorned with intricate headdresses, while others seem almost alien, their proportions defying natural human form. Who created them, and for what purpose? The local Mende and Kissi peoples have long regarded the Nomoli as sacred, believing they house the spirits of ancestors or supernatural beings. Some legends suggest they were once living giants, turned to stone as punishment by the gods. Others claim the figurines serve as guardians, capable of bestowing blessings or misfortune depending on how they are treated. But while oral traditions preserve their mythological significance, they offer little insight into their true origins. Unlike most archaeological finds, the Nomoli were not uncovered through organized excavations. Instead, they are often discovered unexpectedly, hidden deep underground, buried beneath layers of sediment, or unearthed by farmers tilling their fields. Some have even been found alongside objects seemingly out of place for their supposed age, including metal spheres with compositions unusual for West African artifacts. One figurine, reportedly made of an iron-chromium alloy, puzzled researchers, as such materials require advanced smelting techniques that were not known to exist in the region's ancient past. Could this be evidence of lost metallurgical knowledge? Or do these artifacts hint at a forgotten civilization that once thrived in the region? Attempts to date the figurines have yielded conflicting results. Some estimates suggest they are around 500 years old, linked to the main people's arrival in the region. Others argue they could be far older, with some discoveries reportedly buried beneath layers of earth that could date back thousands of years. Without inscriptions or definitive archaeological context, the Nomoli remain orphans of history, their timeline uncertain. Even their purpose is a matter of speculation. Were they representations of deities, ancestral spirits, or something else entirely? Some scholars propose they may have been used in fertility rites, others suggest they were markers of social status, and a few have even drawn comparisons to distant cultures, wondering if the figurines hold echoes of an unknown cultural exchange. Their enigmatic expressions and unusual craftsmanship continue to spark debate, leaving more questions than answers. As they resurface from the ground century after century, they seem to challenge us, daring us to piece together a history that may never be fully written. On a remote island in Russia's White Sea, dozens of ancient stone labyrinths rest against the barren landscape, their spiraling patterns weathered by time. The Bolshoi Zayatsky labyrinths, estimated to be thousands of years old, remain one of the most puzzling prehistoric structures in the world. No one knows who built them or why. Were they ritualistic pathways, astronomical tools, or symbolic representations of the afterlife? Unlike the grand labyrinths of mythology, these are not underground mazes designed to trap wandering souls. Instead, they are made from small stones, carefully arranged in spirals and concentric circles, some measuring up to 25 feet in diameter. Their construction required significant effort. Thousands of rocks precisely positioned, suggesting a communal project undertaken with a clear and deliberate purpose. Some are simple, with a single entrance and exit, while others weave into complex designs that seem to invite travelers to walk their paths. The sheer number of these labyrinths, over 35 spread across the Solovetsky Islands, suggests they played a significant role in the beliefs of the people who created them. Theories about their function vary widely. Some researchers believe the labyrinths were sacred spaces, used in rituals designed to guide spirits into the next world. Others argue they were places of initiation, where shamans or spiritual leaders walked their winding paths as part of ceremonial rites. Another possibility is that they served as early astronomical markers, aligning with celestial movements much like other ancient structures around the world. Yet, one of the most compelling mysteries is their connection to water. Many of the labyrinths are located near the shore, leading some to believe they represented the cyclical nature of life and death, mirroring the ebb and flow of the tides. In some cultures, labyrinths were thought to act as traps for malevolent spirits, preventing them from returning to the land of the living. Could these stone spirals have served a similar purpose, keeping restless souls at bay? Interestingly, similar labyrinth designs exist across Scandinavia, Northern Europe, and even as far as Greece, often linked to ancient seafarers and spiritual traditions. Were the Bolshoi Zayatsky labyrinths part of a broader cultural network shared by distant civilizations through trade or migration? Or did different societies, separated by vast distances, independently develop labyrinths as a universal symbol of transition and transformation? Despite centuries of speculation, no definitive explanation has been found. The people who built the Bolshoi Zayatsky labyrinths left no written records, only these silent, winding paths that seemed to defy time itself. Were they maps to an unseen world, tools for sacred rituals, or something even more enigmatic? For now, they remain as they have for millennia, enduring puzzles carved into the earth, waiting for someone to finally decipher their meaning. In 1924, a young French farmer named Émile Fradin was ploughing his field near the village of Glozel when his plough struck something unexpected, an underground chamber filled with strange artifacts. Among them were clay tablets covered in an unknown script, alongside carved stones, bone tools, and human remains. What should have been an extraordinary archaeological discovery quickly spiraled into one of history's most controversial debates. Were the Glozel tablets evidence of a lost European civilization, or was it all an elaborate hoax? The tablets contained symbols unlike any known writing system, sparking theories that they could represent an early form of written language predating even Sumerian cuneiform. Some researchers speculated that Glozel could be the remnants of an ancient European culture, possibly linked to the Celts, or even a prehistoric civilization lost to time. Others suggested the symbols bore similarities to early Mediterranean scripts, raising questions about unknown connections between distant cultures. But the tablets were only part of the mystery. More than 3,000 objects were unearthed. Polished stone axes, carved idols, clay figurines, and even inscribed menhirs, large stones marked with strange symbols. Some bone and ivory artifacts featured engravings of extinct animals, while ceramic vases displayed artistic styles unusual for prehistoric France. If genuine, these relics suggested a civilization that had mastered art, writing, and possibly even trade with far-off cultures. Yet from the moment the discovery was made public, it faced intense skepticism. Prominent archaeologists of the time dismissed the site as a forgery, accusing Fradin of fabricating the artifacts. Their reasoning: the tablets seemed too advanced for their supposed age, and there was no known precedent for such writing in prehistoric France. The controversy led to legal battles, accusations of fraud, and even a police raid on Fradin's farm. Some experts argued the artifacts lacked proper stratification, meaning they weren't found in undisturbed layers of earth but scattered, as if planted there. As the years passed, scientific analyses only deepened the debate. Thermoluminescence dating on some objects suggested they were genuinely ancient, over 2,500 years old, but the tablets remained difficult to verify. Some researchers argued that certain artifacts were truly prehistoric, while others were likely more recent, possibly planted to deceive investigators. This mix of authentic and questionable objects left Glozel in a strange archaeological limbo, where neither full acceptance nor outright dismissal has been possible. Even today, the mystery of the Glozel tablets remains unsolved. If real, they could rewrite the history of early writing in Europe. If fake, they stand as one of the most elaborate hoaxes ever attempted. Either way, the story of Glozel challenges our understanding of the past, leaving one question unanswered. Did an unknown civilization leave behind its mark in an unassuming French field, only for its legacy to be lost in a storm of doubt? In the arid heart of Nevada, where wind-scoured rocks and dried lakebeds stretch for miles, an ancient message is carved into stone. The petroglyphs of Winnemucca Lake, etched into massive limestone boulders, are among the oldest known rock carvings in North America. Some may date back over 10,000 years, predating many of the great civilizations of the world. Yet, despite their antiquity, their meaning remains an enigma. Were they an early form of symbolic communication, a record of celestial events, or something more mysterious? These carvings differ from typical Native American petroglyphs. Rather than depicting animals or human figures, they consist of deeply etched geometric patterns, intricate spirals, interconnected diamonds, and complex linear designs that seem almost mathematical. Some of the patterns resemble waveforms or celestial alignments, leading researchers to speculate that they might have been used to track lunar or solar cycles. Others believe they could be a forgotten script, a form of proto-writing that predates known record-keeping systems. Dating these petroglyphs has been a challenge. Unlike organic materials, stone cannot be radiocarbon dated. Instead, scientists have studied the carbonate deposits that formed over the carvings, analyzing when they were last submerged underwater. Their findings suggest that some of these petroglyphs could be as old as 14,800 years, placing their creation at a time when the now arid Winnemucca Lake was a vast body of water teeming with life. If this dating is correct, it could mean that the people who carved these symbols lived during the last ice age, making them among the earliest known inhabitants of North America. But why were they made? Some researchers propose that they were part of religious or shamanic rituals used to communicate with the spirit world or mark sacred sites. Others speculate that they were territorial markers, a way for early humans to establish their presence in a rapidly changing environment. And then there are those who look at the unusual precision of the carvings and wonder if they encode something else entirely, an early attempt at recording knowledge lost to time. The petroglyphs of Winnemucca Lake stand as silent witnesses to a forgotten era, their patterns locked in stone but unreadable to modern eyes. Were they the work of an ancient culture that vanished, leaving behind only these cryptic symbols, or do they hold a meaning that we have yet to recognize, waiting for the right discovery to finally reveal their secret? High in the Peruvian Andes, a massive stone sits abandoned, its surface covered in an elaborate network of channels, basins, and carved waterways. Known as the Sayhuite monolith, this intricately sculpted rock remains one of the most perplexing artifacts of the ancient world. Unlike other stone carvings in the region, which depict deities or mythological figures, the Sayhuite monolith appears to serve a different purpose, one that suggests a deep understanding of water flow and hydraulics. But was it an engineering model, a sacred ritual object, or something even more advanced? Measuring roughly 2 meters across, the monolith is carved with over 200 geometric and topographical features, resembling miniature rivers, canals, and terraces. Some researchers believe it was a three-dimensional prototype, possibly used by the Inca or an earlier civilization to test water distribution techniques before implementing them in real-world construction. If true, this would indicate an incredibly sophisticated level of hydraulic engineering, one that may have played a key role in the development of the region's advanced irrigation systems. However, others argue that the Sayhuite monolith was not merely an engineering tool, but a sacred object linked to water worship. The Incas revered water as a divine force, and many of their most significant structures, such as Machu Picchu and Tipon, incorporate intricate water channels believed to have both practical and spiritual significance. Could the Sayhuite monolith have been used in rituals dedicated to the water deities? Perhaps it was not meant to model irrigation systems, but instead to symbolically control water, ensuring agricultural fertility and prosperity through ceremonial offerings. Adding to the mystery is the fact that the monolith was deliberately damaged at some point in history. Large sections of the rock appear to have been broken off, leading some to speculate that Spanish conquistadors who sought to dismantle indigenous religious sites may have defaced it. Others suggest that the destruction could have been part of an Incan ritual, possibly to deactivate its power before abandonment. To this day, no one knows the true purpose of the Sayhuite monolith. It could represent a lost chapter in the history of Andean engineering, a sacred relic of water worship, or something else entirely. But one thing is certain: its creators possessed knowledge that modern scholars are still struggling to fully understand. Hidden beneath a grassy mound in Massachusetts, the Upton Chamber is one of the most mysterious underground stone structures in North America. At first glance, it appears to be a simple tunnel leading into the earth, but stepping inside reveals something far more intriguing: a carefully constructed passageway leading to a domed stone chamber, its walls fitted together with remarkable precision. Who built this structure, and for what purpose? Was it an ancient Native American ceremonial site, an early European construction, or something far older than recorded history suggests? Measuring about 14 feet in length, the tunnel leading into the chamber narrows just before opening into a corbelled stone room, nearly 12 feet in diameter and 10 feet high. The precision of its dry stone construction, with no mortar holding the stones together, has allowed it to remain intact for centuries. This level of craftsmanship raises an important question. Could this be the work of pre-Columbian European visitors, as some theories suggest, or does it have indigenous origins? Some archaeologists believe the chamber was built by Native Americans, possibly for ceremonial or astronomical purposes. Many indigenous cultures of the Northeast constructed stone enclosures for spiritual practices, and some researchers speculate that the Upton chamber could have been aligned with solstices or equinoxes. Similar alignments have been found at other prehistoric sites, such as America's Mystery Hill. However, no definitive artifacts or markings have been found within the chamber to confirm its purpose. Other theories propose that the chamber was built by early European settlers, though no records exist of its construction. Some have speculated that colonial farmers repurposed an older structure for storage. However, the sophisticated corbelling technique is unusual for settlers, leading some to believe it predates their arrival. More controversial is the idea that it was built long before Europeans arrived, possibly by an unknown group of pre-Columbian visitors. Some enthusiasts point to similarities between the Upton chamber and ancient megalithic structures in Europe, such as passage tombs in Ireland or chambered cairns in Scotland, suggesting a transatlantic connection. Others draw comparisons to dolmens in Portugal and Brittany, but without direct evidence, this remains speculative. Despite its mystery, the chamber has been remarkably well preserved. Was it a burial site, a ritual space, or a shelter from an ancient era? Could it be a remnant of a lost architectural tradition that once spanned continents? To this day, the origins of the Upton chamber remain an unsolved mystery. Was it a sacred Native American site, an early colonial construction, or evidence of an unknown chapter in history? Until more discoveries are made, it stands as a silent monument to the past, waiting for its story to be uncovered. Across the world, remnants of forgotten knowledge lie hidden in stone, clay, and symbols that refuse to be fully understood. The artifacts we have explored, each a riddle in its own right, challenge the limits of what we know about the past. Were they tools, messages, or sacred objects imbued with meaning that time has erased? Or do they hint at civilizations and ideas that history has yet to acknowledge. Some may one day be explained, their secrets unlocked by new discoveries. Others may remain forever shrouded in mystery, their true purpose lost to the ages. But that is the nature of history. Every solved mystery leads to new questions, and every artifact reminds us that the past is far from fully written. Which of these artifacts do you find the most fascinating? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey through history's greatest enigmas, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who love ancient mysteries, and subscribe for more incredible discoveries waiting to be uncovered.